Terrarium is a mini indoor garden in a glass container. Just like an aquarium, which is for water-dwelling animals, terrarium is for plants.
My name is Leah. I have a company called The Green Bowl, and we're going to talk today about the various kinds of terrariums. We're going to talk about basically how a terrarium mimics the natural ecosystem of the earth. The terrarium is designed in such a way that the same way the bottom of the earth has a lot of rocks, on top of that there's a water bed, on top of that there's a soil bed. A terrarium is made in a similar way so that the plants feel comfortable and feel at home in their environment. So basically, as you can see, there's a layer of white pebbles at the bottom. On top of that, you can make out just a little bit, there's some coconut husk which I've put for filtration. Inside, what you can't see is that there is a little bit of activated charcoal as well to absorb the nitrogen and the other gases and keep the air clean inside the terrarium. On top of that, there's a mixture of either peat moss or mud. As you can see over here, this looks really dark and porous, this mud. This is the peat moss combination. And over here, this is a lot more red mud. You can see the difference in the two. Some plants need more red mud, like the lemon spider needs red mud. So there's red mud under this. And the syngonium, for example, needs a peaty mix. So there's peat moss in this section of it. On top of the mud, we have a layer of decorative pebbles. Those are also to just kind of keep the mud damp down and make sure that it doesn't fly and mud doesn't splatter around and stuff. It keeps it looking really neat and tidy. And after I put the layer of the decorative pebbles, we put the decoration, the figurines, the colored stones, all of that later. And this is the Aurelia I was telling you about earlier, which I use to mimic a tree. And this is a combination of, again, pink, white and green plants, and again white and green and like a darker green. So you can see a lot of different texture and variation in the same terrarium. It's always nice to use a mixture of different plants. Terrariums are usually kept closed. Their traditional terrariums are kept shut, but you can leave it open as well, whatever you prefer. If you keep it open, you need to water it about once in 5 days. I prefer to spray it down with a water spray so that the plants get cleaned, the glass gets cleaned, and it's just nice and humid inside after a spray. So you can either spray it or you can water it, maybe about half a cup. And that's good enough for 5-6 days at least. If you want to cover the terrarium, you can cover it with either cling film and put like a ribbon or something around it so it looks pretty, or you can just cover it with a nice saucer, and that way whatever moisture that is in the terrarium already gets evaporated within the walls, condensed within the walls of the terrarium, and goes back inside. So you don't need to water it for months on end. There are lots of examples of terrariums that have lived up to 30 and 40 years when they're sealed, because the ecosystem is so perfectly balanced inside it that it survives and thrives on its own perfectly well. Terrariums don't need any fertilizer because the idea is not to encourage the plant to grow. So most of these plants are house plants and table plants anyway, so they don't grow much bigger. But in case they do grow, you just need to kind of break off the top like that, just break it off so that it grows fuller at the bottom and it doesn't grow taller and lankier. They're quite low maintenance actually. You need to just make sure that you water it correctly. If it's overwatered or underwatered, it won't do well. But as long as the water is exactly right, according to the room that you keep it in, terrariums can live for many, many years.